Recycling of food may seem simple, but it carries significant meaning for both the environment and our daily habits. Instead of throwing away after use, a metal can be repurposed into many useful items, such as storage containers, small plant pots, decorative pieces, or even unique DIY creations with personal touch. With just some cleaning, surface preparation, and a bit of creativity, you can revive something that seemed like waste into a new item that is both durable and visually appealing. This is not only a cost-saving solution, but also a meaningful action that helps reduce waste. Next, I will use a drill with the appropriate drill bit to drill into the marked position on the bottom of the can. Now, the bottom of the can has two clearly different holes in terms of size. The one in the center is larger, and right next to it is a second, smaller hole. Now I will take an old spark plug and insert its threaded part through the large hole in the center of the bottom of the can. After adjusting it so that it stands straight and balanced, I will use hot glue to seal around the contact area between the spark plug and the bottom of the can to secure it in place. The hot glue not only fills the gaps to limit air leakage, but also helps the spark plug adhere firmly to the can. Next, I will prepare a set of screws that fit the size of the remaining smaller hole. I insert the screw through the hole from the outside and then tighten it with a nut to secure it in place. Now I will prepare a piece of electrical wire with two inner cores to start making the circuit connections. First, I gently strip off the outer plastic layer to expose the two separate copper wires. I will tightly wrap one wire around the screw already installed in the smaller hole, ensuring good contact for stable conductivity. The other wire will be connected to the metal terminal of the spark plug and secured firmly to prevent it from coming loose during use. After securing all the electrical wires and making sure every connection is firmly in place, I will move on to the next step. Here I have two old light bulbs. So before using them, I will check which one is still working and which one is already faulty. I will connect each bulb to the system one by one, making sure the contact points are secure, and then run power through it for testing. For the broken light bulb, I will first remove the outer plastic casing. I carefully pry it apart layer by layer to avoid further breakage or creating sharp, dangerous edges. Once the bulb is open, I will take out all the internal components and wiring, leaving only the intact metal base and threaded section. Next, I will use a small drill bit to widen the hole in the bulb socket. I hold the socket firmly and drill slowly to avoid deforming or cracking the surrounding metal. The bulb socket is now ready for the electrical wires to be inserted inside, making the wiring in the next steps more convenient and organized. After drilling is finished, I will gently bend a small section of the bulb socket to create just enough of an opening for the electrical wire to pass through without being pinched or pressed. Once the wire has been threaded through, I will secure the bulb socket to the bottom of the can using hot glue. I apply the glue evenly around the contact area between the socket and the can's base, allow it to fill the gaps and improve adhesion. Next, I will prepare a standard wall-mounted light bulb connector. First, I thread the remaining electrical wire to the body of the connector, pulling it so the wire sits neatly inside. Then I position the connector correctly and start screwing it in place to securely attach it to the bulb socket. Next, I will trim the electrical wire to a suitable length so it is just enough for use, avoiding excess length that could cause tangling or make organization difficult. Then, I will use wire strippers to gently remove a short section of the outer plastic insulation at the end of the wire, exposing just enough of the copper core inside. Now I will prepare 2 electrical terminal blocks to serve as safe connection points for the wires. I choose terminal blocks that match the wire gauge, so that when the screws are tightened, the wires will be held securely without slipping out. Next, I will insert the stripped copper end of the electrical wire into the clamping position of the terminal block. I adjust it so that the copper wire is completely inside, with nothing exposed to avoid short circuits. Once it is in the correct position, I use a screwdriver to tighten the screw on the terminal block, firmly securing the wire in place. Next, I will prepare a flat wooden board to use as a base, helping the entire structure become more stable. I place the bulb connector at the appropriate position on the wood, align it properly, then use screws and a screwdriver to secure it. I tighten each screw gradually, so the connector sits firmly on the wooden surface without shifting or wobbling. So everything is now ready, and the setup probably looks quite curious, making you wonder what it actually is, right? Well, to be exact, I am creating a TV antenna with a very strong signal receiving capability. Now I will move on to making the signal receiver head, and for this step, I will use a piece of antenna cable. Next, I will remove the entire outer layer of the antenna cable, including the plastic insulation, the metal shielding mesh, and the inner insulating layer, keeping only the copper core in the center. Next, I will wind the copper core into a spiral spring shape. Forming it into a coil like this helps increase the surface area and enhances its ability to capture signals more effectively, making the antenna more sensitive and stable during operation. Next, I will take a pull tab from a soft drink can. This small metal piece is not only lightweight, but also conductive, so it can be repurposed as an additional component to support the signal receiving structure. Next, I will attach the pull tab firmly to the copper coil to enhance its signal receiving capability. By securing it tightly in place, the pull tab will act as an additional conductive surface, helping the antenna capture signals more efficiently and making the overall reception stronger and more stable. Next, I will attach this copper coil to the spark plug. I position the coil so that it makes good contact with the metal part of the spark plug, then secure it firmly so it stays stable and can effectively transmit the received signal through the entire system. This connection helps the antenna structure work more efficiently and consistently. Now I will prepare another separate antenna cable to connect directly to the TV. I cut a piece of cable with a length suitable for where the device will be placed, then strip off the outer insulation at both ends. On each end, I expose the central copper core and neatly keep the surrounding metal mesh in place, so it does not fray. Now I will connect one end of the antenna cable to the signal receiver unit. Next, I take the DIY antenna setup and test it with the TV to see how well it performs. I check the signal strength, scan for channels, and observe the picture quality. This test confirms that the homemade system can reliably receive TV signals. First, I connect the cable I just prepared to the TV, then position the other end outward to receive the signal. Once everything is securely connected, I turn on the TV and start scanning for channels. Now, I begin the channel scanning process on the TV, allowing it to detect and store all available channels that the DIY signal receiver can pick up, while also checking whether the signals from the rivets and copper wire are functioning stably. The TV received a total of 32 channels, all displaying clearly and stably. This demonstrates that the DIY signal receiver using rivets, copper wire, and a broken charger works effectively, providing signal reception comparable to many commercial antennas while remaining cost-effective and creative. After completing the scan, the TV displays all available channels with sharp and stable images, without any interference or signal loss. When I unplug it, the TV completely loses signal. When I unplug the signal receiver from the power socket, the TV completely loses signal, with all channels disappearing immediately. This shows that the entire DIY antenna system relies entirely on the connection to the receiver. Overall, this DIY signal receiver works quite effectively, capturing 32 clear and stable channels, proving that the idea of reusing shells, copper wire, and broken light bulbs is completely feasible. Its key advantages are low cost, efficient use of readily available materials, and ease of construction at home.